welcome back to another fresh and exciting behind-the-scenes breakdown video. Today, we're diving into one of my all-time favorite superhero films, Man of Steel. From its story to its jaw-dropping action sequences, there's something about this movie that just hits differently. Personally, I've always been a huge fan of this film, and I've been super excited to explore how some of its most epic scenes were actually made. In this video, you'll get to see the real magic behind the camera, how the filmmakers brought Krypton to life, how intense fight scenes were choreographed, and how Superman got his flying ability in the movie. Get ready, because what you're about to see will make you appreciate Man of Steel in a whole new way. So first, let's start with an adrenaline-pumping rescue sequence scene when Clark Kent throws himself into a burning oil rig to save the lives of trapped workers. On screen, the flames rage and the structure looks terrifyingly real, making you feel like Superman himself is risking everything. But in reality, this entire sequence was built inside a controlled studio. The team constructed a small set using key props like pipes, platforms, and beams. The rest of the towering rig, ocean waves, and blazing fire was pure CGI. Artists painstakingly expanded the environment frame by frame, creating a nightmare inferno that felt both dangerous and breathtaking. It's a scene that blurs the line between the real and the digital, proving just how powerful the fusion of performance and post-production can really be. Next comes one of the most heart-wrenching moments in the film. A young Clark Kent watches helplessly as his father sacrifices himself during a catastrophic tornado. It's an emotionally charged scene that defines Superman's moral compass. But behind the scenes though, the tornado didn't really exist. It was a swirling storm of visual effects created entirely in post-production, and the cast performed on a real outdoor location. Also, some green screens were subtly positioned throughout the set to give the VFX team full control to craft the stormy skies and flying debris. This blend of real-world interaction and digital destruction allowed the filmmakers to focus on the characters' emotional performance while still delivering a visually intense natural disaster. Later, Superman chooses to surrender himself to General Zod to protect Earth. He meets with Lois Lane in an interrogation room, and this scene was filmed on an actual indoor location. But when Zod's Lieutenant Faora arrives to take them aboard the alien ship, the scene was actually shot on a real location setup, but some lighting equipment was also used. And when Superman, Lois Lane, and Faora boarded the spaceship from the stairs, a green screen staircase was placed behind a car, which was later converted into the staircase of the ship through CGI. The interiors of Faora's airship and Zod's base were never real ships. They were elaborate sets built inside a soundstage wrapped in green screens with some essential props. Actors performed in these minimalistic environments, reacting to imaginary doors, panels, and technologies. The magic happened later when VFX artists transformed these green screen boxes into futuristic alien interiors. Every control panel, corridor curve, and blinking light was digitally rendered. And what about those intimidating Kryptonian suits? The ones that looked heavy and intricately detailed? They were actually motion capture suits. The real armor was later added through CGI, allowing for a sleek, otherworldly look without restricting the actors' movements. In a haunting flashback, we see General Zod and his team standing trial on Krypton after committing heinous crimes. The chamber looks vast and ancient, echoing with judgment, but in truth, it was a simple soundstage setup. Using green screens and a few Gothic-style props, the production team created the illusion of grandeur. The rest of the massive columns, futuristic textures, and the eerie environment was added in post-production. One of the film's most amazing scenes takes place inside Zod's own ship, where a confrontation unfolds between General Zod and the AI version of Jor-El. Both actors delivered powerful performances inside a minimal green screen set, standing in for the technologically advanced face of the villain. The tension was real, the environment an illusion. Everything from the shifting light to the holographic technology surrounding them was added after filming. It's a testament to how strong acting and visual design can elevate a scene to legendary status. A thrilling action sequence shows Lois Lane escaping from the ship with help from Jor-El's AI. We also witness a fierce hand-to-hand fight between Lois and one of Zod's crew members, but here's what you didn't see on screen. This entire sequence was filmed on a fully built air base set inside a studio surrounded by green screens. Behind the camera, a team of choreographers was coaching the actors on every move, how to react, how to throw a punch, and exactly what kind of facial expressions to deliver for maximum tension. It's all carefully rehearsed right down to the final escape. In one standout moment, Superman is instructed by Jor-El to punch through a wall to escape. But behind the scenes, there was no wall, no destruction, just carefully choreographed movement and a green screen backdrop. The rest was the work of talented CGI artists who digitally broke the wall into shards. To make Superman fly, the actor was raked into a harness system, allowing the crew to simulate liftoff without leaving the studio. One of the most surreal scenes shows Superman in a dreamlike state sinking into a sea of skulls. On screen, it's a horrifying vision of fear and pressure, but this creepy, surreal scene wasn't just CGI alone. The crew designed a physical set covered with thousands of dummy skull models placed on a small surface. To create the illusion of sinking, Henry Cavill stood on a platform rigged with a motorized mechanism that slowly descended beneath the surface, making it seem like Superman was actually drowning in a sea of bones. Its practical effects meet nightmare fuel. When General Zod and his team arrive at Superman's mother's house in their ship, the scene explodes into a storm of dust and wind. That storm? 100% artificial. Fans and dust machines were used on location to mimic the violent force of an alien spacecraft landing. As Zod and his team descend from their ship, what looks like a dramatic entrance in full alien armor was actually performed with motion capture suits. The ladder they stepped down from? A green screen construct. Fowler's flying fight photography was led entirely by the director, who walked her through every action beat. Most of the scene was heavily CGI based, and when Superman's mother is lifted by the throat, she's wearing a safety harness to ensure zero injuries while maintaining the illusion of danger. Later, when Superman sees Zod threatening his mother, he snaps, launching into an airborne brawl across buildings and open fields. These flying punches, all filmed indoors. Henry Cavill held onto a small green prop-like pillow instead of the real actor for Zod. The flying and fighting were achieved through wire rigs and green screens. However, the final explosion moment at the gas station was filmed on a real location, adding gritty realism to the superhuman chaos. When Lois Lane escapes from Zod's ship in a crashing aircraft, Superman swoops in to save her, landing the wreckage safely in a field. For this iconic scene, makers select a real crop field for filming. But before the cameras rolled, the actors rehearsed with the director, giving them final pointers. Then, both Henry and Amy were harnessed to a helicopter rig with wires, lifting them into the air and lowering them gently onto the ground, combining real-world effects with cinematic flair. This was the first time Superman discovers this ancient Kryptonian ship hidden in Antarctica. Though it looked like an icy wasteland, the entire scene was built on a set with large green screen structures and realistic snow-covered props. The spaceship interior was custom designed using a combination of physical models, green screen, and CGI overlays. Even the towering ice cliffs were a mix of real set design and computer-generated enhancements. During the moment when the ship's AI resists Superman pulling out the key, a crew member in a full green suit acts out the physical resistance, grabbing Henry's arm and simulating the tension. Later, that performer was digitally erased and replaced with Kryptonian tech in post-production. This scene takes us to one of the most intense moments in the movie when General Zod unleashes the World Engine to transform Earth into Krypton. But behind the camera, what you see isn't a mechanical monster, but a masterpiece of 3D animation and cutting-edge CGI. The massive machine, the rising smoke, the blast of fire, the water being pulled upwards, and the crumbling buildings, all of it was built digitally by VFX artists. Yet the human reactions, the panic, the chaos on the ground, that was filmed practically on real locations with extras and set pieces carefully arranged to bring realism into the chaos. Later, the World Engine and the massive destruction were layered in to create a seamless blend of live action and CGI, making the apocalypse look all too real. Right after the World Engine is destroyed and the Earth is saved, Superman and Lois share a quiet, intimate moment, a kiss amidst the ruins. But behind the romance lies a green screen. The entire scene, including the surroundings, was shot in studio with carefully crafted props and limited real debris used to build a portion of the destroyed area. These elements helped keep the scene visually grounded, adding a sense of reality to the emotional moment. And now begins the ultimate showdown, Superman vs. General Zod. Fueled by rage over his destroyed vision for Krypton, Zod goes head-to-head with Superman in an explosive battle. Surprisingly, this entire fight sequence was filmed indoors on a green screen set. Michael Shannon, Zod, wore a motion capture suit, while Henry Cavill, Superman, performed in his full costume. The wire work, intense flying punches, and action choreography were all carefully planned and rehearsed under the guidance of stunt coordinators. Superman's flying moments were done using harness rigs, while Zod's flight was achieved with machine rigs to simulate dynamic movement. The actors' powerful performances and physicality made the fight visually believable even before the VFX was added. One of the most thrilling sequences in Man of Steel is the roadside battle where Superman takes on Faora and her fellow Kryptonian warriors. This scene was particularly challenging to film, combining real-world locations with high-stakes action choreography. To make its scenes real and authentic, real locations and real helicopters were used, and the actors fought amidst explosions, real debris, and crumbling vehicles. To ensure safety, the fight was meticulously planned with stunt doubles, harnesses, and protective measures in place for the performers. From hand-to-hand combat to characters being thrown into buildings, this scene was a masterclass in blending realism with cinematic spectacle. The BTS footage reveals just how much precision, planning, and passion went into creating this epic fight, turning it into one of the film's standout moments. Man of Steel wasn't just about high-flying action or brutal villains. It was a film that merged deep human emotion with groundbreaking technology. And thanks to the tireless work of set designers, VFX artists, stunt coordinators, and visionary directors, this Superman origin story became one of the most visually powerful superhero films of its time. And so, that's it for today's video. What was your favorite behind-the-scenes moment from this movie? Let us know in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed our video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exclusive content on your favorite movies and series. See you guys next time, and bye-bye for now.